Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Minutes with Milo Show, Thursday edition. And this week, it was the only edition. So, skipped Monday. Told you might be doing a little summertime schedule. So, didn't do a show Monday night. Did some other things. And so, we're back on Thursday, 9 o'clock. Woohoo! Live. If you're not watching it live, that's okay. Watch it not live. Listen to it not live. Podcasts, all that kind of good stuff. But whatever you do, like, subscribe, leave me a comment, turn the notification bell on. So when I do have a chance to get on, mostly going to be on Thursdays, I'm thinking, this summer anyways, you'll get a notification. You'll be able to check right in and get all the goodies. So speaking of goodies, I got a thing on my finger. It's not so goody. We'll get rid of it though. Hey, there he is. He's changed his name again. Is that like free? Can you just change your name around there? Garth Hawk? Garth Ook? Garth, okay. Okay, Garth. Let's be able to. But I'm glad you're here. And maybe Roberto will show up. Maybe he won't. Who knows? Maybe more people will show up. Who knows? It is Thursday. You never can tell about Thursdays. Goodies. Back to goodies. Not goody powders, but goodies that you eat. Started thinking about what the show topic would be, and I had the chance to eat some Halo. Now, some people call them like, you get free points every time you change your name. Really? What kind of points? What can you buy with your points? I want to buy something with my points. Maybe I'll do a show on Microsoft reward points or something. It's something that's tied in with the Bing search engine and Microsoft's, I don't know, what's their latest thing? It's not the latest. Anyway, their web browser. But you earn points for all these searches. I noticed I had a bunch of stuff, but apparently you can get gift cards and all kinds of stuff with that. But anyway, Halo, cuties, tangelos, tangerines, I don't know. There's all kinds of nice orangey, fruity things out there to eat. So I had an opportunity to eat some, and they're seedless. The ones that I had were seedless, and that's really cool. And I started thinking, how do they do that? How do they get seedless fruits? And I think one of the ones I ever saw, now, just to say, some fruits, I don't know, maybe it's even some vegetables. We'll look at that. Naturally don't have seeds. So, banana is one that doesn't have seeds. Pineapples don't think have seeds naturally. You don't have to make them seedless. But I think the first thing that I ever saw that was seedless was watermelon. And it just doesn't seem right. Because part of the whole mystique of the watermelon is to not eat the seeds. Because you know if you eat the seeds, the watermelon grows in your belly and it can come out your nose, right? I mean, you understand that part. So part of the trick with eating watermelon is not to eat the seeds. The fruit wouldn't grow in your stomach. I'm just joshing you. But that's what, as a kid, you used to think, or you were told. I know that was something that I believed when I was a kid. But you could just take a big old bite of watermelon and swoosh it around in your mouth and pa-ting, 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 and spit out the seeds. They actually had seed spitting contests to see who could spit a watermelon seed the furthest. Till they got rid of the seeds. Then it's no fun anymore, see? But you don't have to dig them out. We used to dig them out and dig them out and dig them out. Now, I don't know why. Maybe they were toxic. I think the seeds of apples contain arsenic, so you don't chew and swallow the core and seeds of the apple. Now, horses, they do. You can give a horse an apple and it's gone, the whole thing. Boom. Not necessarily at once. Chomp, 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 chomp. But, as I understand, the horse is so big and the amount of arsenic or stuff in the seeds is so tiny, it doesn't affect them. Of course, you're not supposed to feed horses, rapid fire apples until their belly explodes. So that's that too. But anyway, maybe there is something to be said about not eating seeds of fruits, not necessarily vegetables. I mean, imagine trying to dig the seeds out of a tomato. But guess what? They do raise seedless tomatoes. So how does this happen? I mean, I don't know a lot about that, horticulture, that kind of stuff, but man, seeds are what gives you, tomatoes, cucumbers, radishes. I mean, you start everything in a garden pretty much from seed, except for like onions maybe. They're like a bulb, so I just don't understand how you can have seedless fruits and vegetables and produce them and produce a lot of them, But the beauty of it, the whole thing of it, you pop those little slivers out of a seedless orange or, cutie, sweetie, tangerine, slow, whatever it might be. And you eat it, and you don't have to worry about swallowing the seeds or spitting it out or crunching them because, they don't taste good. So, how do they do it? And I started wondering, how would you ever make seedless anything? You can't, sprout it and grow it and get it to bear fruit without seeds. But we're going to find out. There's a word that makes that happen. Just one word. It's a process. But it is one word. And let's see. We'll get over here. I can't pronounce it. Of course, I can't pronounce it. Why would you even think? How would I even pronounce such a big scientific word as this next word we're about to see here? Parthenon carpi. That's it. Parthenon carpi. That's the best I can do. That's just it. Seedless fruits and vegetables are grown by stimulating the stigma of the flower with the help of photohormones, which trigger the ovary in development in its parthenocarpic mode of development. Let's see if we can see a picture of this parthenocarpic whatever. So that's seed germination. I don't see pictures. These are all about seeds growing. There are some videos, but let's see. Go down here. The Wikipedia, of course, our favorite kind of thing. Garthog says, no, you don't get seed spitting contest champs here 3 years running. Did you spit them across the kitchen? Who was in the contest? And he says, not really. But that is a thing. Seed spitting contests, watermelon seed spitting contests are a thing. Go to county fairs, three-legged races, human wheelbarrow contest races, and seed spitting. I mean, that's it. Seedless fruit is a fruit developed to possess no mature seeds. Since eating seedless fruits is generally easier and more convenient, they are considered commercially valuable. Most commercially produced seedless fruits have been developed from plants whose fruits normally contain numerous relatively large hard seeds distributed throughout the flesh of the fruit. Some of the varieties of seedless fruits: watermelons, tomatoes, and grapes. Additionally, there are numerous seedless citrus fruits such as oranges, lemons, and limes. You know, if I go to a restaurant, damn, soft drinks are just outrageous. I don't want to pay $4 for a soft drink, and then tea is just about half that. So nowadays, if I go to a restaurant, I'm ordering water with lemon, and I don't drink from the glass either. I know people call them sissy sticks, but I use a straw. Why? Because I don't want to put my mouth on the rim of their glass. Who knows? I just don't. But use a straw, you get down there, and what inevitably happens. Now, I squeeze the lemon juice into my water and stir it up. I don't just let it lay in there and, put a little bit of the juice out. Man, I squeeze it. Put it in there. Almost stir it up. I inevitably get lemon seed in my straw, seems like. Almost all the time. Poor man's lemonade. Yeah. My grandpa used to take everybody's lemon. And see, used to, you get iced tea with lemon and they didn't put it on there. They just brought you a little old bowl, little old lemon slices. And he would go to Shoney's, for example. And it always, they would just come and they'd give you a little glass of ice and water. That was just what, some places give you chips. Seems like Shoney's, they always just gave you a little cup with ice and water in it. Then you could order your tea or your sodas or coffee or whatever. But almost everybody had sipping water, I guess is what you'd call it. So he would collect the lemons and stuff and make some lemonade. It's just what he used to do. There's Roberto. But I almost always get a seed in my straw. So I wonder why restaurants don't buy seedless lemons. Maybe some of them do. Maybe they're more expensive and they just don't care if I get a seed stuck in my straw or not. So, but you can get oranges, of course, like what I was talking about. And I don't know, maybe I'll do a show one time on the different kinds of oranges or tangelos or cuties or sweeties or halos or whatever you call them. But now, all right, since we're talking about this, the beauty of a tangerine or a tangelo or these little cuties is the outside peeling comes off real easy, and you break them up into the little individual slices. They're perfect to eat because each individual slice is like a slice of watermelon wrapped in its own little edible wrapper. I mean, if you're careful and you don't tear that little membrane when you're peeling off the outside, you hardly even get any little juice on your fingers. So you just pop it open and eat little slices, or do what I do. If they're small enough, you just throw the whole thing in your mouth, and without having to worry about seeds crunching down on some seeds, you just eat them things. But now, those are specifically bred, produced, bred, made, grown, so that the peeling comes off really easy. Now, an orange, on the other hand, like a navel orange, It's really tough to peel. So how many of you, there might be two of you that do this because it's two people in the chat, but you'll take a navel orange and you start squeezing it, pounding on it, squeezing it, and getting it all soft and squishy. Then I usually pick the side where the navel is and take a knife and make 3 incisions, like a triangular incision, and plug it. And then you squeeze it and you suck all the juice out, okay? Then you stick your thumbs in there and just rip that thing inside out. And then you eat the pulp by turning the skin inside out, and you can just peel it off that way. That way, some people cut them in half, and then cut them into quarters like a watermelon, and then they peel it back and eat it that way. I don't believe that. So now, Robert says they're genetically engineered. And that's one of the things I wanted to see, is are they genetically producing these things with no seeds? And so, is that aliens eat human heads? What? By squishing them, making them soft, then plugging them and suck the juice out of them, then turn them inside out? Is that the way they do it? Is that what you're talking about? Or do they cut them into quarters and then eat them like, okay. So, let's see. I was wondering if they were genetically modified. But that means they'd have to genetically modify each plant. Because then when the plant produced the fruit at the end of its life cycle, you know, there's no seeds to plant to get it to grow another one of those. So somehow, you know, you'd have to be genetically modifying each plant, because without a seed, it can't pass that trait on to its, you know, you can't pass anything on. It grows, it dies, it's done. So, let's see. Seedless fruits can develop in one of two ways. Either the fruit develops without fertilization, that's the Parthenon carpi, or pollination triggers fruit development, but the ovaries or embryos abort without producing mature seeds. That's stenzospermocarpy. Seedless bananas and watermelon fruits are produced on triploid plants whose 3 sets of chromosomes make it very unlikely for meiosis to successfully produce spores. And, oh man, they're using these big scientific words on me. This is because one of the 3 copies of each chromosome cannot pair with the other appropriate chromosome before separating into daughter cells. So these extra third copies end up randomly distributed between the 2 daughter cells from meiosis, resulting in the usual swiftly lethal something condition. Such plants can arise by spontaneous mutation or by hybridization between diploid and tetraploid individuals of the same or different species. Some species, such as tomatoes, pineapples, and cucumbers, produce fruit in which there is no seeds to be found if not pollinated, but will produce seeded fruit if pollination occurs. Huh. Again, all that goes into saying that some of them produce seedless naturally, depending on whether they're fertilized or not. So Robert says they clone plants. Okay, I might go with that. All right, so lacking seeds and thus the capacity to propagate via the fruit, the plants are generally propagated vegetatively from cuttings by grafting, or in the case of bananas, from pups, in which cases the resulting plants are genetically identical clones. By contrast, seedless watermelons are grown from seeds. These seeds are produced by crossing diploid and tetraploid lines of watermelons, with the resulting seeds producing sterile triploid plants. Fruit development is triggered by pollination, so these plants must be grown alongside a diploid strain to provide pollination. A lot of stuff going on right there. A lot of stuff. So, I don't think that's genetically modified though. The seeds are produced, and this is just, I think, specifically for seedless watermelons. So they have a seed. They plant the seed, but it's a special kind of seed. And the watermelon that the seed produces does not have seeds. See? Seedless watermelons are grown from seeds. These seeds are produced by crossing diploid and tetraploid lines of watermelon. So I don't know if that's genetically, grafting. I don't know if that's genetically manipulating them or if they just, you know, crossbreed two separate kinds. Like, you guys know this. The difference between a donkey and a mule. So I can't remember. The mule is sterile, is it not? It's like the product of a mama horse and a daddy mule. How does that work? There's mules and donkeys. And I can't remember which one's a cross between a donkey and a horse or a mule and a horse. How's that work? Anyway, I think that's what they're talking about. They take two different lines or breeds of watermelon and make them crossbreed them, and then that produces seeds that then produce fruits with no seeds. So, the disadvantage of most seedless crops is a significant reduction in the genetic diversity of the species. Because the plants are genetically identical clones, a pest or disease that affects one individual is likely capable of affecting each of its clones. For example, the vast majority of commercially produced bananas are cloned from a single source and are vulnerable to the fungus disease as Panama disease. Let's see. Now we got off on the subject of mules. What a cross between a horse and a mule. A henny is a domestic equine hybrid, the offspring of a male horse and a female donkey. It is the reciprocal cross to the most common mule, which is the product of a male donkey and a female horse. It is the reciprocal cross. Female mule is called a molly or molly mule. The term mare mule is also used informally to refer to female mules. A henny is a domestic equine hybrid, the offspring of a male horse and a female donkey. It is a reciprocal cross between the henny is distinct from the mule both in physiology and temperament. We're getting sidetracked. Hey, look, a mule is a hybrid cross between a male donkey. And it's got stripes. That is way cool. Look at that. That is way cool. Nice. All right, back to vegetables, fruits and vegetables. A mule has 63 chromosomes intermittent between the 64 of those of the horse and the 62 of the donkey, making mules infertile. Yeah, I thought there was something like that in there somewhere. I mean, I guess is that true for all mules? I don't know. Let's go back and look this up. What is that word? Parthenocarpy. In botany and horticulture, parthenocarpy is the natural or artificially induced production of fruit without fertilization of ovules, which makes the fruit seedless. The phenomenon has been observed since ancient times, but was first scientifically described by German botanist Fritz Noll in 1902. Stenosperm carpi may also produce apparently seedless fruit, but the seeds are actually aborted, while they were still small. Parthenocarpy occasionally occurs as a mutation in nature. If it affects every flower, the plant can no longer sexually reproduce, but might be able to propagate by something else, other means. Parthenocarpy of some fruits on a plant may be of value. Up to 20% of the fruits of the wild parsnip are parthenocarpy. The seedless wild parsnip's fruits are preferred by certain herbivores and also serve as a decoy defense against seed predation. The Utah juniper has a similar defense against bird feeding, and the ability to produce seedless fruits when pollination is unsuccessful may be an advantage to the plant. Commercial importance. Seedlessness is seen as a desired trait in edible fruits with hard seeds such as bananas, pineapples, oranges, and grapefruits. Parthenocarpy is also desirable in fruit crops that may be difficult to pollinate or fertilize, such as figs, tomatoes, and summer squash. In a something such as persimmon, parthenocarpy increases fruit production because stanomet trees do not need to be planted to provide pollen. Wow. You can't just plant seeds, man, and make trees anymore. Well, I'm missing out some. Here we go. Yep. 99% research. I'm a cleanup crew technician. You can trust me. Yummy persimmons, I know. What is a breadfruit? Well, what is a breadfruit? What is a breadfruit? The large, round, starchy fruit of a tropical tree which is used as a vegetable and sometimes to make a substitute for flour. The large evergreen tree which bears breadfruit, which is widely cultivated on the islands of the Pacific and the Caribbean. Let's look at pictures. Must have pictures. Well, those looks like those things that. What are those things? Well, you talked about. You had them on some land that you owned or something one time. Can't remember what you called those things. No, not pawpaws. Like they were hard. They're hard, and they're pretty good size. Brain something, I thought. You call them a brain fruit? What was that thing you called them? Pawpaws are wonderful. I don't know what Robert's talking about. Ossett's orange? Is that what? That sounds. Thought you said you had a tree. Well, maybe that is it. Hedge apple. Hedge apple, I think is what you call it. All right, you want to try monkey brain. Fruit. I spelled fruit wrong. Maybe. Much bigger. I thought they were bigger than that. Maybe they're not. Hedge apples. Let's go back to that. So, breadfruit. They're not very big. They're about the size of a lemon and an orange or something, looks like. And what was that other one? Hedge apple. Well, let's see, that's still not very big. What does it say a hedge apple is? Hedge apples, also as an Osage orange or horse apple, is a hard flowering fruit native to Oklahoma, Texas, and some areas in Arkansas. It grows from a small deciduous tree or large shrub that grows to 30 to 50 feet tall. The fruit is roughly spherical, bumpy, 8 to 15 centimeters in diameter, and turns bright yellow-green in the fall. It secretes a sticky white latex when cut or destroyed. The fruit is inedible, but is fabled to have insect-repelling properties. What are they used for? Yeah, we're going to listen to the story, but we're not going to. Hedge apple. Okay. My trees grew huge ones and a ton of them. Horse apples are petrified horse poop. I used to stain wood with walnuts out of the yard. I used to grab them, when they get all soft and turn to almost mushy. Get you some gloves and axe handles and mattock handles, whatever it was. Wash them up and kind of get them cleaned up, and then just rub, the husk of the rotten walnut on them and stain them walnut colored. It works really good. Yep, walnuts. Okay. So let's just ask the straight up question. Are seedless fruits GMO, which is a genetically modified organism? No. Flat out no, according to two sources. There are no seedless fruits sold today which are GMO. None. It's actually a bit silly. They're calling you silly, Robert, to think otherwise, since biotechnology is used to produce genetically modified seeds meant to be useful in agriculture in some way, such as being resilient to drought or pests. Huh. I think they just smacked you around, Robert. Give you a smackdown on that GMO stuff. You know what? I wish there was a way that it was. I guess you could buy a machine to process walnuts, so then you could eat. But it's just so daggone time consuming. I mean, with like a lot of people's grandmothers, great grandmothers, grandfathers, and stuff, they worked all the time. And, if you wanted walnuts to go in a cake or a cookie or whatever it might be, then you went and you shelled and husked and cracked and you pulled the meat out of the walnut. That's what you did. And they came up with ingenious ways like, you know, rolling them over, putting them all in the driveway and driving over them and then putting them in buckets and laying them out in the sun and drying them and then cracking them open with hammers and all kinds of stuff. But it would be really cool if there's a way or someplace you could take them and, by the buckets full and dump them in this machine and they charge you, however many cents or dollars a pound, and it husks them and, spits them out, and maybe it dries them. I don't know. Or maybe you already take them husked with just a nut and then you throw them in there and then they crack them open and separate it, however that's done. I don't know how they do it commercially. But lots and lots and lots of walnuts. My granny's place, my place, I've got 3 or 4 walnut trees. Some years nothing, some years tons. But every year is just a pain if you're trying to mow. Just such a pain. So seedless is not genetically modified. See, look at the seedless watermelon. It just looks like crap. I mean, it really does. I'm just pretty partial to watermelon that has seeds in it. Not because they're easy to eat or anything. It's just because that's what I grew up with. So let's see if there's top 10 seedless fruits and vegetables. Well, I'm sure there's going to be watermelon, grapes. I never even thought about pineapples having seeds or not. Let's see. Seedless fruits, bananas, pineapples, grapes. Now, one of the popular fruit crops worldwide, bananas are elongated golden yellow fruit. Botanette. Technically, it's a berry. It's an amazing source of potassium, improves blood sugar levels, and is used in various desserts and salads. Bananas are seedless fruits and can be consumed raw as well as ripe. Consumed raw as well as ripe. I don't think I'd want to try to eat a non-ripe banana. I think they're almost like a persimmon. If you get them young and they're green and they give you that talcum powdered dryness in your mouth, I don't think I'd want to attempt that. So pineapples, never thought about it, about having seeds. Now grapes, yeah. Banana is a seed. Huh. Yeah, okay. Seedless watermelons taste okay, but not like seeded melons. Squirrels replant my walnut trees very well, Robert says. Garthok says the nanner is a seed. Huh. Is the banana a seed? I don't know, man. Okay. Not considered a seed. Is a banana fruit the seed? Is a banana fruit the seed? Include. A banana is, there's that word I can't pronounce, botanically categorized as a fruit, more specifically a berry. This is because the seeds are found inside the banana and there is no pit or stone, which distinguishes a fruit from a berry. From a culinary perspective, a banana is still classified as a fruit. Although the banana does contain small black seeds, they are not the same as those found in other fruit varieties, such as apples or oranges. Sorry, bananas are not seeds, but rather a type of fruit known as a true berry. True berry is a mature ovary of a flowering plant. I got to stop doing this research. I don't want to eat nothing. So, ribosomes or asparagus. I had asparagus tonight. You know what I started to do the show on is why does asparagus make your pee stink? That's why I was like, you know what's going to happen later? But I like asparagus. She, I guess, baked it with seasonings and butter and stuff, and it's really good. I've had asparagus, pickled asparagus spears before. Those were pretty good. All right. So let's see. What else? Grapes. Now, tiny grapes are relished better when they are seedless. You're right. Over the years, seedless grapes have come to be preferred over grapes that contain seeds. You'll be surprised to know that seedless grapes came to be from a natural mutation rather than man's effort. Grapes are currently grown from cuttings rather than planted with seeds. Grapes make the bite-sized snack that boosts your immunity, promotes better sleep, and improved heart health while keeping your body's hydration game on point. Huh. Watermelons is one of the most hard to eat fruits with seeds. This is why seedless variety is so much in demand. It packs a great dose of hydration for the body, various essential vitamins and minerals, and is low in calories and fat. It promotes healthy digestion, weight management, and heart health. Tomatoes. Freshly picked red tomatoes are everyone's favorite, but people sometimes are unable to enjoy them because of their seeds that can aggravate digestive issues. To address this, horticulturists produce tomatoes without fertilization. They have come up with a seedless variety with more flesh that's rich in fiber, vitamins, and mineral and helps you to maintain eye and skin health. Tomatoes promote brain health, prevent constipation, and support exercise recovery. The cucumber. Due to crossbreeding, one can get seedless cucumbers that are greener, fleshier, and have a thinner outer skin. Eating cucumbers award numerous health benefits, hydrate the body, boost gut, bone, and heart health, and help manage weight and sugar levels. Lemons. Do away with the extra step of taking out the seeds with a strainer every time you make a mocktail by opting for commercially grafted lemon varieties that are seedless. So they're grafting lemons to make them seedless. Seedless oranges. Some oranges, such as navel oranges, are seedless, which makes enjoying oranges more pleasant. Buddha's hand. What? What is that? Buddha's hand citron is a seedless, juiceless fruit with thick skin and finger-like sections. It is rich in vitamin C, helps boost the immune system, and protects against colds and flu. Include it in your fruit plate to get the dose of dietary fiber and have a strong metabolism, healthy digestion. Never seen or heard of Buddha's hand citron. Berries. Now, strawberries have seeds. Some varieties of berries, like blueberries and strawberries, have just the juicy bits but no seeds inside. They are loaded with antioxidants and fibers. I beg to differ. I think the little seeds of a strawberry are on the outside, are they not? Those uh, little dimples and dents and little blackhead things that are in the strawberry, isn't that the seeds? I swear I think that's the seeds. I don't know. Robert says they're yummy. Huh. Alrighty. Da-da-da. Seedless fruits. There's one other question I want to know. What are some fruits that are commonly thought to be vegetables? Alright. 7 fruits you always thought were vegetables. Cucumbers are in fact a fruit that is often thought as a vegetable. Avocados. The large pit of the avocado is in fact a seed, of course, a key characteristic of a fruit rather than a vegetable. Olives. Let me get to the list. Let's get to the whole list. Alright, cucumbers, avocados. I've grown avocado trees before from that pit. Olives. I bought some olives at Food City tonight. I started to get some stuffed ones, but I didn't. I just opted for a small. They're so salty. So I just opted for a small jar of pimento stuffed olives, whatever. What else we got? Fruits that are vegetables. Alright, sweet corn. Pumpkins. Peppers. Butternut squash. Butternut squash. Huh. That's interesting. Alrighty. We've made it through another Minutes with Milo Thursday edition. So, that's cool. Love some olives, right. So if no seeds like blueberries supposedly have none, how do blueberries reproduce? By this, whatever that thing that I said before that I couldn't pronounce. Carpy something, plant the old carpy. Or they're grafted. You know, you take a cutting and plant it, and it grows roots and starts growing into a tree, and then you take a cutting of that and do the same thing over and over and over. But think about it, have you ever gone to the store and bought blueberry seeds to plant blueberry bushes? You always just buy the bush, right? Daddy blueberry and a mama blueberry. But naturally, I mean, dude, I don't know. Let's plant and get some blueberries and put them in the ground and see if they grow. Maybe they will. I don't know. Lots of the questions and no answers. Alrighty, so what have we been into this thing now? Almost 50 minutes. Yep, 49 minutes. All right. I think we're going to call it an evening. We're going to call it a Thursday evening. All right. are blueberries on a vine? No, they're on like a little bush. I have tried, they do not. Really? I mean, it makes sense to try it. Maybe you should do like this. Maybe you should get some blueberries and take some and dry them, and then take some others and squish them, right, so the skin breaks, and then dry those, and then put them in the freezer, get them out in spring, and then plant them and see if they grow. Because pawpaw seeds, I have tried and tried and tried and tried to germinate pawpaw seeds. And the way you're supposed to do it is you're supposed to keep them in the refrigerator moist and cool in the refrigerator for like weeks. And then you get them out, and that triggers the growth, is the cold snap, the cold spell. And they're still not 100%. You know, you might have 40 or 50 seeds and get some of them to sprout. And I hate it. I had some that I got to grow, and I put them in buckets, and then I was so afraid to take them out of the buckets and plant them that I would kill them, that they died in the bucket. I hate it. Stupid me. Stupid me. But persimmons, I've got one persimmon tree growing that's still alive. And I found pawpaw trees in my woods. I have no idea where they came from. And they're all over the place. Once you learn how to pick out what a pawpaw tree looks like, you can spot them. They got huge ears or leaves on them like donkey ears. They're huge leaves. But anyway. All right. I think we're going to call it a night. I know we are. Appreciate you guys coming, being on the chat. Like I said, if you're listening or watching later, leave me a comment, shoot me an email. Everything's Minutes with Milo, Milo with a Y, all one word. Facebook, Instagram, X, Reddit, on there. I don't look at Snapchat no more. It's nothing but a bunch of sex workers on there trying to get your money. So, anyway, it's a real pain in the tuchus. All right, everybody. Let's see if I can find that stop streaming button and hit it.